UPRadio.net. It's the station.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Mental Health Talk with yours truly. I am Christina McIntyre. I hope that y'all had a great summer and now getting into the back of groove of things. Don't forget to visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com. On there, I talk about our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, and also talk about, chakra healing as well. Follow me on Instagram, Become Your C. I share poetry on there and other information on there as well. Facebook, BYC, Become Your C. YouTube, BYC, Become Your C. That's where all of my podcasts are. And also, I'm on TikTok, Become Your C. So this week, I just wanted to have an open discussion to get us back into, the rest of the year. I said the new year. This month is a very important month. It is Suicide Awareness Month. And this is something that touches me because I suffer from mental health. As well as a lot of other people. And I think it's important that we understand the severity of suicide. And suicide just doesn't happen. It's so many things that lead up to it. And I want to bring more awareness to mental health so that we can try to help prevent some of those suicides from happening. I think if more people knew that they have someone that they can go to, maybe that wouldn't be the final solution. So if you are suffering from mental illness that it has gotten you to that point where you are contemplating suicide, you can call the 1-800 number is 1-800-273-8255, or you can visit them on their website, suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Or if you know someone that has been talking about, suicide, harming themselves or other, please get them help. A lot of times when people talk about suicide, it's a cry for help. And we don't know someone else's pain, so we can't judge them. And so when you're talking to someone that is at this delicate point, try not to put blame. Just try to understand as much as you can. Let them know that you are there for them. And most of the time, people just need someone to talk to. 2/3 of people that commit suicide suffer from depression, and this is going to lead me into my conversation for today. So again, if you're out there and you're contemplating suicide, please don't let that be your final answer. I have had suicidal thoughts throughout the year. When I was 12, I didn't do much to follow through with suicide, but I wrote a note. I used to cut myself, and a lot of people don't know that. I suffer from depression like almost all my life, and a lot of things happen where I felt like I had no one to turn to. So I wrote the note just to get somebody's attention. And it helped for a little bit, but depression has followed me all throughout my life. At some periods it gets better, and at some points I find myself falling back into that depressed state. At least now I have some tools that I could kind of use to help me to not get to that really, really low point. Because suicide, I think people look at it like, oh, they're selfish. No, I kind of understand, you get to the point, right? Life feels overwhelming, and that feels like the best solution possible. At least, doing that will alleviate the pain. And the pain that you feel internally, there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. We actually have to do that ourselves. And it's a lot of things that come up to this point. Like, we have no idea what someone's going through, so we can't judge them for using that as an option. But the thing that we can do is bring more awareness to people's issues, have an open heart, have an open ear, so that they know that they can go to someone. A lot of times people do suffer in silence, right? Especially with people with mental health issues. They feel like they have no one. A lot of times when you do have these diagnoses, people look at you like you're different. Oh, maybe it's not that bad. Oh, someone else has it worse. Never label people that have mental health issues, because you don't know, that one conversation you have that is not with love can push them over the edge. So you have to be very sensitive to people that are suffering from that. And also, we that do suffer, we have to take some initiative to go get the help that we need. We got to say that we have suffered enough and that we have to reach out. And I know it's scary to reach out to people. A lot of people don't want to hear it. They in their own issues, and they have their own life that they have to deal with. And sometimes they hear you, but they're not really listening. And so you got to take it upon yourself to find groups, to seek therapy. And yes, you may have to find a couple different therapists until you find one that works for you. But there is a resolution after all of this. Suicide does not have to be the final result. And I know the pain seemed like it'll never go away, but I can tell you from experience that it does. We just have to work at it every day. Dealing with mental health is not some timey thing. You can't, oh, I'm gonna just work on it today. You have to be committed to it every day. Like when you get up and brush your teeth, you have to have a plan in motion to kind of keep yourself from going that deep under. And also, it's important to have a support system as well while you're suffering. Even if you just have one person, you need someone that understands what you're going through, because sometimes we just need that conversation. We need someone to pull us out, because we can't see things. When we're in that deep space, we can't see things only from our point of view. So we need maybe someone to come in and then just show us what reality is. And so I wanted to talk about open discussion about a couple different things. For like a couple weeks, 3 weeks, I took a break from social media because I was feeling overwhelmed myself. Social media was overwhelming me to the point where it did cause me to see back into depression a little bit, and I was suffering internally, and I had to do the work myself to pull myself kind of back out of it. And I'm there. I'm getting more focused now, but I wanted to talk to people about knowing yourself and knowing when to say enough is enough. I think sometimes we try to be so much for people, and we try to put on the show for people, and we give so much of ourselves that we kind of lose ourselves in the process, right? Social media, a lot of times, like, we look at social media as like a way of life, but it's not. Most of the time, social media is just an image, is just basically a story. A lot of times people post on social media, that is not reality, right? And so it's important that you understand that. But also, it's a lot of negativity that's posted on there as well. I feel like with everything going on in the world, we can't be ourselves. And if we choose to be ourselves, if we choose to be different, look different, speak different, act different, believe different, like, people attack us for that. And we get lost. We start to lose ourselves. We start to question ourselves. We start to question maybe you should follow the crowd. And that's what I was kind of dealing with. It. And it's no one's fault. I was dealing with my own issues internally. A lot of pain still need to be healed, not just from recent, but we talking about years, and we also have to know ourselves and what our triggers are. A lot of times we listen to stuff, we watch things, and we're around people, and we don't realize that they're um, negatively affecting our energy. So we have to take responsibility for ourselves and knowing when enough is enough and being okay with that. Being okay with if someone wants to hang out and turning it down because the location does not uh, fit well with our energy. Maybe not having a conversation with someone because you know where the conversation will lead. You have to know yourself, especially in this world, and being okay with that. Um, a lot of times we do too much as well, and we need to know when to take a break. We as adults we take on so many roles, and I'm speaking from a woman's point of view and a mother's point of view. We as mothers and women we take on so many different roles that we don't make time for ourselves. And we get burnt out. And then when we get burnt out, especially when you're dealing with mental health, like I know for me, I start creating scenarios in my head. I start creating things does not make sense. But for me, in that moment, it makes sense. And so I tend to isolate and I tend to not want to deal with things in the moment. And then I push away. And that's not a good place to be in because then you find yourself drowning. And then it got to the point where I knew I had to do something because I was there like 3 or 4 years ago, a deep depression, and I didn't want to be back to there. And so it took some time, took some work, took some meditation, took looking internally, and asking myself questions. And I think you should also ask yourself questions and do some self-reflection today, if not today, tomorrow. But take time every day to self-reflect and ask yourself, are you doing those things which brings you happiness and peace? And if you're not, ask yourself why. Are you doing things to please other people? Are you doing things to just fit in? A lot of times we just want to fit in. We don't want to feel like the odd one out. Society tell us we need to all be alike, but I love that people have unique personalities, unique individuality. We weren't all meant to be the same. But society tells us that we have to follow everyone else, and it's not fair. And when you suffer, a lot of times you suffer in silence, and people don't understand depression and how it is. I said it's okay not to be okay. We see that blasted around a lot. It is. I think people think that we have to be happy all the time. And that's one thing I was dealing with. Like I had someone question, it was the first thing in the morning because I didn't have a smile on my face. And they asked me why wasn't I happy? Who said I wasn't happy because I'm not smiling? But you don't have to be happy all the time. I believe we can have peace and we can have contentment all the time. Emotions change, right? Rapidly. I can be happy now, but 20 minutes from now, I might be sad. I don't know what's to come. And so why do we judge people on a emotion that can change? And why do we judge people by their facial expressions? Why do we judge people by their words? Why do we judge people by their belief system? If it's not directly affecting you, why are we worried about what someone is doing in their own life, what someone is doing that makes them happy? Does it affect you? No, then you shouldn't even worry about it. And then that's the point I want to get to, and I had to learn is that if someone is not directly helping me pay my bills, helping me provide a way of life for myself, helping me kind of have some sanity. Why am I worrying about what everyone else has to say? Why am I worrying about what social media thinks everyone should be like? I don't and I shouldn't. And I think people need to realize that they are worthy enough and they are perfect the way that they are. Our imperfections makes us unique, right? And it challenges us to grow, right? We're never going to be perfect. And if you're looking for perfection, if you're looking, maybe if you do all these things right, you will be perfect. No, you will never be perfect because we're always going to keep growing. We're going to learn. And every step of the way is a different level, a different in our journey, right? Journeys are meant to continue. And I think people get to the point where they think like, oh, I'm done enough, and this is it. There's no finish line to this life's journey. You're gonna always um, be faced with challenges, and I think that's what's important, right? Knowing how to be faced with a challenge and then navigate through that. Too much time we put too often we put too much pressure on ourselves, and then we allow people to put pressure on us. And I'm saying, let's stop that. Let's stop allowing people to enter our circle and they're not beneficial to us. They give us advice, but when we don't take their advice, they get upset. Or because we're not following the way that they think our life should be, allowing that negativity to feed into us, right? We have to create our own peace. We create our own reality, and whatever that means to you. And you have to find happiness within yourself first. I think a lot of times we look towards other people to make us happy, but if we're not happy internally, we can't be happy with someone else. And always remember, happiness is just it's a changing state. So no, you don't have to be happy all the time. Having peace, that's what matters the most. A lot of things could be going on, bad things can happen, but if you have peace, right? If you know how to navigate through that peace, you will always be balanced. And trying to find balance in this world, especially right now in the state it is in, it's crazy. And that's why I always urge meditation. Meditation has taught me so much about myself and life in general. And the more that you look deep within, the more you realize that one, we're only here for a temporary time. And what we do with our time is what matters the most. And also, realizing that my purpose here is not for myself, it's for other people. And if people take a grasp of that, like we being here, we have a gift to give, right? And we'll never realize our gift if we constantly think that we're doing things for our own benefit. Now, granted, I don't want to get it confused. Like we're supposed to live our life the way that we want, create that reality that we want, do things that bring us joy and happiness. But also our purpose here is to help each other, right? To better someone's life. And I said, if I can just help one or two people with the words that I speak, I have done great things. And so think about that as you go through life. Like thinking, I feel better actually when I'm helping other people. If I'm giving to other people, it touches my heart. And so if we all thought like that, I think the world would be better. I think our communities would be better. But I think we all sometimes are a little too selfish. And so maybe we need to think more outside of the box, right? Um, let's see. Also, I think a lot of times we suffer from depression because we're living life like an avatar. So an avatar is a character. And when we constantly live like that and not living like how we're supposed to be and not living true to who we are, we're going to be depressed, right? Our self is fighting to get out. It's like keeping someone trapped in a cage, keeping someone trapped in a box. And after a while, they're going to try to break out. They're going to get tired of staying in. And that's what having depression is like. You're living trapped within yourself, trying to get out. But you feel like you can't get out because the world is not going to accept you as you are. And it's pretty sad, right? I think depression probably comes from a lot. Well, it definitely comes from a lot of different things. For me, mine has come from years and years of pent up anger and abandonment and confusion and letdowns. And so as an adult, I'm trying to deal with that. And I get challenged every step of the way. Like, definitely, I get put in positions where I have to question things. I have to learn from these things. And I think it's important to learn lessons along the way. And you have to ask yourself, you have to dig deep within and ask yourself why you react the way that you do. I believe we carry burdens from our ancestors as well. Spiritually, some of the things that we're dealing with may not just be our own, but we have to take the initiative to break the so-called whatever curse or whatever you want to call it, so that we don't pass those burdens onto our children. Our children look up to us, and they are a reflection of us. So if we want them to learn how to be themselves, learn how to handle their emotions better, learn how to navigate through the world, we have to be a good role model for them and not allowing the world to get to them before we can. We have to speak life not only to each other, but mostly important to ourselves. I think a lot of time we give advice to other people. We speak encouragement and love and kindness into other people, and we fail to do it to ourselves, because I think we don't think we deserve love. We don't deserve kindness. We don't deserve support, but we do. Like, we have to have it. We're not meant to be alone. We're not meant to navigate life through by ourselves. I've talked to some people that say they don't need people, but we all need people, right? Unless you're living isolated somewhere in the forest, somewhere where you build your own house, but unless you made your own tools. But also, if you use wood from the trees, you didn't do that yourself. It was already put here, right? So we can't exist by ourselves, no matter how much we try to, how much we deflect or talk about people, or I'm getting myself confused. But you understand what I'm saying, though. Like, we only can exist perfectly in an imperfect society as our own individual self. And so I want to urge people to dig deep within themselves and ask themselves those hard questions. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I living a life pleasing to me? And what can I do to do that? And then this year, it definitely has been such an inspiration to me. I've learned a lot of things along the way. And what I'm learning now is that if I have an issue and I'm being challenged, right, I get overwhelmed easily about a lot of stuff. I can feel emotions, sadness, anger, rage. I can feel everything, and it affects me spiritually. My energy can be all over the place, but I'm trying to learn how to navigate that energy. And so now I challenge myself. If I have an issue, how can I solve it, right? If I need money, okay, what can I do to get money, right? So here go all the solutions, right? If I'm, let's say, I've gained weight like a lot, about 20 pounds over the last 3 months. Okay, so what can I do to kind of lose weight? I have to change the way I think about food. I'm already exercising, so it's not that. So I have to change my thought process. And so in order to heal, we have to change our thought process. And it's hard at first. I still struggle. It's not an easy fix, right? When you suffer from mental health, especially depression, it's not an easy fix. You have to go at it every single day. You have to fight for yourself every single day and fight for your right to be who you truly are, and not be ashamed of that. I want people never to be ashamed of who you are, not the way that you look. I know social media tell you gotta look a certain way in order to be happy or to have people in your circle. No, you don't. As a woman, especially, I had a lot of self-esteem issues growing up, and some people can relate to this as well. We look at social media, we look at these pictures, and we want to emulate those people that we see. But you're beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to change anything. We don't have to fit into what society says that our bodies should be, how our face should be, how our hair should be. Everyone's skin complexion, everyone's body shape is catered to how they are, and they are supposed to be. You can't be what's not in you to be. And so why are we chasing something that's not obtainable? Work on whatever you have, right? On my weight loss journey, I used to try to, I don't know, try to get a body that was never going to be mine. So what I had to do, I changed my mindset and said, I'm going to create the best body that I can for myself. And when I started doing that and changing that mindset, I started to fall in love with myself. And that's what you need to do. Whoever you are, fall in love with that person, not what someone else thinks you should be, not what society says you should be. Fall in love with you. And when you start to do that, you'll start to do things that please you, right? You'll start to navigate through the world better. And then you'll find yourself, people are attracted to who you are and not who you try to be. Because if you try to be someone you're not, people can pick up on fake people. And so they're not going to want to be around you anyway. So why not try to be the person that's inside of you? You got to heal. You got to heal so that you can become who you need to be for yourself. And then you can be the person that the world needs. And it all starts with us. Again, you don't have to suffer in silence. If you are suffering, from depression or any mental health issues, especially this is suicide awareness week, please don't let that be your last resort. Call the hotline. I'm going to give you the number. It's 1-800-273-8255. You can call them. They will not judge you. They will talk to you, help you find counseling that's in your area. If you are afraid to go to that step, there are groups on Facebook that you can start from, because that's where I started from. Also, if you want it to be more secretive, you can go on the website suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Never feel like you're not good enough. I know we have those feelings, and I suffer as well from them not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy enough, not feeling like I have value. But as long as you are here on earth, you matter and you're priceless. Like, people try to put a price on people, try to say these things to make them feel less than. But remember, when people try to down you, when people try to degrade you, that's something that they're lacking within themselves. So they put that burden on you so that you can feel less than, so that they can feel better than you. Let's stop allowing negative energy from the environment, from ourselves, from people into our energy. Let's find a way that so we can be balanced, so that we can get healed, so that we can enjoy this life as we have it. Because we're only here for a certain amount of time, and we don't want to waste any more of it going through any more pain than we have to. We decide when the pain stops, and start the process. And remember, the journey for your life is yours, and you don't have to rush. You don't have to be in competition. You basically your own competition. But don't be too hard on yourself to be perfect or to keep up with someone. If you're not at a certain place where everyone else is at, you can't worry about where people are. You have to worry about where you are and get your mind in a place where you're able to appreciate your life and everything that you have. When we learned how to be humble and appreciative and have gratitude, more abundance will come our way. You got to learn to love on yourself so that you can be happy and be content and be at peace with yourself, because that's the person that matters the most. You're in this world for you, and if you're not strong, those around you can't be strong, because we're giving off energy as well. We get affected by energy, but we give off energy as well. So let's get our energy balanced so that we can provide for ourselves and for the world. No, we can't save everyone, but we can save ourselves, and we can save one person at a time. And if you ever need to have a conversation about this, you can always inbox me on Facebook, Christina McIntyre, or BYC, Become Your C. You can follow me on Instagram, Become Your C. Watch all my podcasts on YouTube, BYC, Become Your C. Did I forget one? Oh, my website, www.becomeyourc.com. I talk about all this different stuff. And also quick, I use the chakra system as a way to navigate my life and to heal and to become who I need to be through myself. If you want to learn about what the chakras are and how I go about using them in my life, you can definitely inbox me as well. I just want to urge people, never give up on yourself. Go get the help that you need so that you can become who you need to be for yourself. Most importantly, fall in love with yourself so the world can fall in love with you. Till next time.